Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins in Johannesburg, with the sound of police sirens, and an engine accelerating toward the man being pursued. He's moving at breakneck speed, but his tires shriek as he hits metal. When a helicopter appears in front of him, he swiftly makes a sharp turn. Unfortunately, he collides with a metal ladder, forcing his front windshield to shatter. Tons of sirens and air horns are now trading sounds, as the cops approach him. The man takes a risky detour, and then a flashback. A man is on the phone with his wife, when the white light flashes. The woman insists that the man is late. The husband claims there were delays with the airline, the customs, and other tasks he must complete before arriving. He promises to arrive in 20 minutes, and hangs up, and he is now sitting in his newly rented vehicle. He observes something out of the ordinary, so he contacts the rental company. A sales clerk answers, who says the manager is not there, but he may come and wait for a few minutes. He declines the offer to swap cars, as he is late for his wife. He starts the car right away, regardless of how strange he feels about it. He joins the freeway with a puzzled expression, because he is unfamiliar with the traffic signage. He continues to drive past the road, when a loud honk pierces his ear. His wife texts him as he's driving, telling him not to drive on the right. He collides with a bike, apologizes, and continues on his way, telling himself not to get into any trouble. He calls his wife, and claims he is late because of a traffic delay and problems with the rental firm. The wife calls him again and sobs, as he tells her that he has been waiting for 18 years to start over with her. A ringing sound appears out of nowhere. It is not his phone, so he searches the glove compartment. He notices a phone with an inbox text message that says, "Make sure, keep it clean." He loses attention, and honks start beeping at him, since the traffic congestion is over. While driving, a child repeatedly taps on his side window. When he can no longer control himself, he opens it, and the girl hands him a charger. A guy snatches his glasses from his other side window. He becomes irritated, eats a Twinkie, and opens water to calm himself down. When his twinkle falls, he grabs it, but it's a gun. In panic, he aggressively places it on the seat. He comes to a halt as a call from the phone rings. The man on the phone says he should acknowledge receipt of the message, but he's bewildered, and asks what's going on. When the other man asks where he discovered the phone, he begins to explain the rental car company's error. However, while he is still speaking, the man hangs up. He rushes out of the car, frustrated. When the phone rings while he is walking, he returns to answer it. He says he's not going to play this foolish game, so he's out. The man on phone claims to be a detective, and he, Michael Woods, is an innocent participant. The detective also claims that the car he is driving was scheduled to be picked up by one of their police officers. Michael is relieved and feels at peace. The detective tells him that they have another car waiting for him, and will provide him with the address. After the call, Michael receives a text with the address, where he has to go. But he can't seem to find the street mentioned. He contacts operators, who are unable to assist him due to a lack of knowledge. He opens his window, and asks where Smut Street is, but the woman responds in Zulu, so he continues driving. The individuals he passes appear to be hostile and deadly. His tire becomes trapped in a hole as he prepares to turn around. He continues to rev his engine, but he is stuck. He calls his wife, who informs him that he is half an hour late. Michael asks Angie, his wife, if she loves him. He tells her that if she loves him, she must tell him where Smut Street is, and that she will not ask any questions. He also says that if he isn't there in 20 minutes, they won't speak again. Angie responds quickly, and provides him with the correct directions. He restarts the engine, but he remains stuck. The trunk shakes as a result of the impact, and a woman tied up and unconscious climbs into the backseat. As he unlocks the backseat window, the kidnapped woman awakens. The woman asks him to untie her, and he does so. Unfortunately, the woman tries to flee, and they get into a fight over the gun. The woman asks who he is, since she does not want to be left with just any random guy, but he simply tells her to shut up. They're back on the road after a few minutes, and she keeps staring at him. The car shakes, and the gun falls on the ground. As she points the gun at him, the woman instructs him to turn the car around. He drives as quickly as he can, until he hits the brake, and the woman goes back, but the pistol whistles lightly. When he regains consciousness, he threatens the woman with the gun, and tells her to keep calm. She reluctantly agrees, but then opens the backseat window, and attempts to flee in the middle of the road. He pulls her aside and tells her not to move. She informs him, perplexingly, that he has no idea what he's doing. A call rings, he answers, and there comes the detective, informing him he's late. He apologizes for not being able to find the address, but the man mentions him getting out of jail, traveling while not permitted, and visiting his wife at the embassy. He gives Michael 5 minutes to go to the address, or they will come and get him. The woman informs him while driving that she needs to explain the problem. She introduces herself as Rachel Shabangu, and claims to work for the National Prosecuting Authority. She recently discovered information on a powerful man, Ben Rose, who is involved in many cases of international trafficking. She remembers walking home, opening her front door, and then waking up in a minivan with him. She believes she has been kidnapped, in order to keep the information from spreading. She encourages him to do the right thing, and save her, but he tells her to just hand it over to the cops. She claims Ben Rose is the chief of police, and that they want her dead. He ties her mouth when she says he's also now involved. When they get to the warehouse, a gunshot is fired, and Rachel orders Michael to go. She orders him to hand over the gun and shoot the people on their back. Michael accelerates, and the vehicles chasing them catch fire. She mentions there are those who can assist. They go downtown, but the first man turns her down. The other informs her that they have threatened his son, and requests she leave him alone. When Michael hears the man, he realizes that they may be looking for his wife. He calls his wife Angie, but she is not available. He leaves a voicemail, and is eager to visit the embassy. Rachel warns him not to go there, since it is exactly where the enemy is going. She picks up the phone, and dials Angie's department, but the agent informs her that she has just stepped outside. They hurriedly go into the embassy, and see men coming to get her. Immediately, the surrounding military gets back, and saves Angie. Rachel, however, is hit in the chest as the men fire guns at them. They promptly enter the parking garage, and pick a place where no one can see them, and push on her wound, but the blood flow continues. Rachel claims she will not be able to make it. Michael, unable to accept this, continues to pump her chest. She urges him to retrieve his phone and press the record button. She quickly mentions her name and the date she is shot. Throughout her testimony, she claims she discovered a trafficking ring, and a trail that led back to the chief of police. She claims other high-ranking officers are also implicated. She immediately went to the judge, but she is now confined to a car. She wraps up her testimony, calling Michael Woods as a witness. She feels weaker, and Michael says he doesn't want the burden on his shoulders. Rachel advises them to take the video to the courts and find Judge Mzuka, the only person they can rely on. She says that the responsibility now lies with Michael, and dies, as Michael becomes frustrated. He awakens from a nap after disposing of the corpse in a parking lot. When he tries to call his wife, he gets voicemail. He weakly stares into space, when a man demands his wallet, waving a knife at him. He weakly raises the gun at him, and the thief flees. After a few moments, his phone rings, and he answers it right away. Detective Smith questions him how much Rachel has revealed to him about the incident, and also threatens him with access to the police. The detective urges him to switch on the radio, and an announcement says that he, Michael, is sought for murdering Rachel. Michael tosses the phone outside, and splatters liquid on it. He is now resolved to obtain justice, and drives back. He tries to call an operator, and asks for the judge's phone number. He sees himself on the wanted list in the middle of the road. 2 police cars appear in front of him, causing him to panic and drive to a car wash. He begins to fill in the blanks, and phones his wife, while the car is being washed. It again goes to voicemail, but he keeps chatting, remembering their one night together, when it was raining, and they just had their bond. They were having a great time, laughing nonstop. He assures her that the rumors about him murdering Rachel are false, and he will clear his name to avenge her. He tells her how much he adores her. Following the car wash, he visits the spray paint shop, and requests his car be repainted. The man seems skeptical, but Michael hands him his watch, explaining it is all he has. When the color changing is finished, he asks the man for directions to the courthouse. His phone rings as he is driving, and it is the judge calling, who acknowledges the message and advises him not to go to the courts, since there are cops everywhere. Michael says he promised Rachel, and he has to give the judge the testimony now. A traffic officer eventually requests his license, observing him on the phone while driving. Suddenly, some men throw a spray can on the police car. He drives away, and contacts the judge again, stating it is too hazardous for him to travel to the courts, and requests his location. Michael's phone dies just as he's ready to say it. He makes the decision to go immediately before the judge, and drives as quickly as he can, while being pursued by cops, the beginning of the movie. He loses the sirens, and the phone rings while it charges. He contacts the judge, but is hit by a police car, so he drives through a store. The cops continue to shoot at him, but he gets back on the road. Soon, He's encircled by police cars and a helicopter. The speaker instructs him to exit the vehicle with his hands on his head. He decides to take a detour, and goes to the courthouse. He grabs a reporter and points the gun, taking him hostage, as he unlocks the back door. He orders the lieutenant to get the judge. Detective Smith comes, and urges the courthouse lieutenant not to intervene, but he can't not, because Michael is holding a hostage. After a few shouts, Michael notices that the hostage's microphone is turned on, so he takes the phone, but the detective fires at him. While bleeding, Michael plays the recorded testimony into the microphone. According to the news, Michael is now hailed as a hero by the president, with the title, A Courageous Defender of Justice, and is being treated in the hospital, beside Angie. The officers are jailed, and the rental company man polishes the minivan that Michael used, Vehicle 19. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.